It was the second race weekend of 2024 in Jeddah. On Friday, just before the third practice session, Carlos Sainz was diagnosed with appendicitis and required immediate surgery. Consequently, he was unable to participate in any further activities for the remainder of the race weekend. Ferrari called upon their reserve driver, Ollie Bearman, who had just secured pole position for the F2 race. Ollie was in the midst of preparing for the sprint race when he received a phone call from Fred Vasseur. He had to immediately jump into the Ferrari F1 car and had only about an hour of practice session to get comfortable and familiarize himself with the SF24. As we all know, the leap from a Formula 2 car to an F1 car is quite substantial. Driving a Formula 1 car on a track as notorious as Jeddah, which severely punishes even the smallest mistakes in its high-speed sections, was not going to be easy for the 18-year-old Ollie Bearman. In qualifying, things started off quite well for him. He managed to advance to Q2 with some impressive laps. However, he narrowly missed out on making it into Q3 by just 0.04 of a second. As a result, he qualified 11th for the main race on Saturday. Considering it was his first qualifying session with Ferrari, I believe it was a decent result. Nonetheless, seeing Charles qualify second on the grid showed that the car had the potential to qualify much higher than 11th. In the race, he finished 7th, advancing 4 positions from where he started. Was it an impressive performance? Certainly. However, considering the Ferrari was the second fastest car in the race, could he have done better? Kinda. I believe Bearman had the potential for a top 5 finish. He had previous experience racing in Jeddah in Formula 2, so the circuit wasn't entirely unfamiliar to him. Despite his speed, what seemed to hinder his race was spending excessive time behind the slower Haas of Hülkenberg. Additionally, the soft tyres didn't provide the strong start Ferrari had anticipated, as they degraded quite rapidly after a few laps. I suppose he also refrained from pushing too hard, as Fred had instructed him to bring the car back in one piece. In Jeddah, even a small mistake can result in finding yourself in the wall swiftly. I mean, just ask Lance Stroll. Now on to the real question. Have people created too much hype around that one drive from Ollie? And the answer is yes. Us F1 fans tend to become overly excited when a junior driver finishes in the points in his first Formula 1 race. While the drive was impressive, considering the challenging circuit and limited practice in an F1 car, it wasn't really extraordinary. Yes, he adapted quickly to the car, became comfortable, and brought it back in one piece with a few points on the board. That's certainly an achievement in itself. But honestly, I believe that there are a few other young drivers who could have achieved similar results. The point is, generating this level of hype around a junior driver adds additional pressure to these aspiring young talents. While some drivers thrive under pressure and elevate their performance, others may lose their focus and rhythm as a result. I'm uncertain which group Ollie belongs to, but I believe people are drawing conclusions a bit prematurely. Now, that single F1 drive has also heightened expectations for him to excel in F2. We already anticipated he would be a title contender this year, but now there's additional pressure. I believe many F1 teams will be closely monitoring his performances from now on. Looking at Ollie's racing career so far, it appears very promising. He has claimed numerous championship titles in karting. In 2020, he participated in the Formula 4 Championship and Italian F4, securing 7th and 10th place finishes, respectively. The following year, he convincingly won both the Formula 4 and Italian F4 championships. In 2022, he competed in Formula 3, achieving a strong third place in the standings with just 7 points behind the championship winner, Victor Martins. And last year, he concluded 6th in the F2 standings with 3 feature race victories and 1 sprint win. Given Ollie's affiliation with the Ferrari Driver Academy, Ferrari undoubtedly aims to place him in their car in the future. However, this appears rather improbable in the coming years, considering Ferrari's recent major signing of the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, who I'm certain will remain with the team for quite some time, and Charles is just Charles. So, it seems unlikely that Bearman will secure a Ferrari seat anytime soon. But this shouldn't pose a problem for the British driver, as Ferrari has partnerships with its customer teams and could arrange a seat for him with them. Haas and Sauber are viable options for Ollie to begin his F1 journey, though the chances are slimmer with Sauber, as it will transition to a works team of Audi from 2026. So Haas seems the most likely option, although things are a bit more complex now. The issue with Haas is that historically, rookies haven't performed exceptionally well for them. Their experience with the 2020 F2 champion Mick Schumacher wasn't particularly fruitful. It's not that Mick was a total disaster. He was doing reasonably well, scoring points and showing promising pace as the season went on. However, he had too many significant crashes, which proved costly for the team. For a team like Haas operating on a tight budget, this is something they cannot afford. With the introduction of the cost cap, a significant portion of their budget going towards car repairs essentially means less money available for car development and upgrades. This, in turn, can ultimately impact their overall competitiveness and position in the championship standings. Even finishing just one position higher in the championship holds immense significance for smaller teams like Haas compared to the larger teams. That's been the primary reason behind Haas's decision to opt for a more experienced lineup since 2023. They brought in Nico Hülkenberg, a talented driver, but one who had been away from the sport for 3 years. And the results have shown significant improvement for them. While they ended up at the bottom of the standings last year, it was largely due to their car suffering from high degradation during races. This season, they've managed to score points in 2 out of the first 3 races, which is quite impressive. It appears they've resolved their tyre degradation issues. Bearman serves as the reserve driver for Haas alongside Pietro Fittipaldi. Signing Bearman wouldn't be an easy decision for Haas from any perspective. There's no guarantee that he can replicate the same performances in their car, given the significant gap between Haas and Ferrari. It's not always the case that a driver who performs well in one car will perform equally well in another. We witnessed this with Nick de Vries last year. Despite an impressive point-scoring result with Williams at Monza 2022, Nick struggled with the slower AlphaTauri and failed to match Yuki's pace, leading to his eventual mid-season replacement. I'm not implying that this will necessarily happen with Bearman, but when teams like Haas consider signing a young driver, they weigh multiple factors. Currently, the Haas lineup is quite robust, with their 2 highly experienced drivers delivering precisely what the car can achieve. Therefore, I believe it will be a challenging decision for Haas to sign Bearman, and Ferrari will need to provide substantial persuasion if they intend to secure Ollie's services for the future. Everyone is quite aware of the fact that once you fail to secure an F1 seat after Formula 2, it becomes significantly more challenging to enter the sport. It's not impossible though. Oscar Piastri managed to do it after spending a year on the sidelines. So sometimes it's just a matter of timing. Liam Lawson is currently awaiting a comeback with RB after some impressive performances in 2023 when he replaced the injured Daniel Ricciardo. Another factor we can't overlook is the intense competition in this year's F2 Championship. We have prominent names like Kimi Antonelli, Victor Martins, Kush Maini, Paul Aaron, and the current championship leader Zane Maloney, who appears to be in peak form. So it's certainly shaping up to be a challenging season for Bearman in F2. With a difficult start to the season, he has only managed to score 2 points across 2 weekends, placing him 19th in the standings. While there are still 11 race weekends remaining and plenty of opportunities to catch up to the leaders, it's going to be an uphill battle. It's imperative for Bearman to excel in F2, and if he clinches the championship, his chances to secure the seat will definitely improve. If he doesn't, finishing in the top 3 in the championship will be a minimum requirement for him this season. Additionally, we must consider the fact that in Saudi Arabia, he missed out on earning significant points by not participating in the F2 races. Therefore, if he ends up losing the championship by 20-30 points, it shouldn't be overly concerning for F1 teams. In conclusion, I believe Bearman possesses great talent and has the potential to be a future Formula 1 driver. However, his immediate focus should be on performing well in F2, and hopefully, we'll see him back on the F1 grid soon, and this time in a full-time role. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, comment down below your thoughts on Bearman's F1 chances in 2025, and I'll see you guys in the next video.